Hi there, my name is Rich Grof from RG Performance Development. Glad you could make it here today. You're on stage one, or our first offering of a new e-course we've got for real estate agents. That's called Secret Six-Figure Sales Tips of the Real Estate Masters. You know, the reason I called it that, and it is a tongue twister, and I've been trying this really hard so you could laugh a little bit with me on it, is that there is something that people that are at the master level of real estate that do certain things that we're just not really aware of, but it just seems to flow so much more easier for them than when you're first starting off, or maybe you're struggling with certain areas of your sales process. So I'm going to uncover a couple of those areas that are going to make things a lot easier for you. So if you've ever noticed, in time when you're working that occasionally things are tough and it's not going the direction that you want it to work, you might find that you thought you had the buyer, and for whatever reason, you take a little bit of a break one day where you're not on it, just taking personal time, even just to breathe, and the next moment you turn around and you find out they're gone with somebody else. Or if you've ever had that moment where you thought you were going to get the listing, you did everything right, great communication, and all of a sudden you get a phone call and you're not the person they're going with. Well, you know how that feels. I mean, you're all down for a day or two and it just kind of takes you off your game. And there's those moments when you think they're going to go forward with that purchase, and for whatever reason, you can't figure it out. If you've ever had one of those moments, you got to know that they're frustrated and they take you off your game, and you might lose one sale, but it gets you kind of in a rut. So today we're going to talk about a couple of things that are going to bring you full circle so you get a real great idea about what's going on. Because it doesn't have to be hard, but we can make it hard if we want to. And if we don't know what we're doing, we've just made it hard. So we're going to take out some of the myths, we're going to find out what's really going on, and we're really going to find out what the magic formula is, because if you've ever wondered what it is, we need to know what that is, because we're in sales. We make a living from it. And I like to help clients work smarter, not harder. And that's what this magic formula is all about. So if you're interested, stay tuned. There's lots coming up. So this is what we're going to be covering in this course. So in day one, we're going to talk to you about how to boost your sales conversion in your real estate business. And that's a hugely important time to really get clued in about what you really need to know. We're going to demystify, we're going to make it simple, we're going to make it so that you really know exactly what it is that you're doing well and the stuff that you're not doing so well. And that's important, that's valuable. It's like money in the bank, so you got to have that one. So stage one, that's what we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Day two, we're going to talk about real estate buyers and why they don't like to buy. When you're working with somebody, they say they want to buy, and then all of a sudden they're not working with you. So you're going to want to know why they're not working with you and what's it really going to take for them to turn around and get to the place where they're moving through the buying cycle. You'll be surprised at what you find out in this particular session, and I guarantee you're going to probably make sales because of it, and that's really important to know. Day three, we're going to cover the tips that real estate masters use when they're finding new buyers at real estate open houses. Why? Well, my goodness, if you're going to do an open house, you need to make it worth your while, and you need to grab those clients so that you can get them for you, not someone else. Because you know what? If you're doing the work, get paid for it. That's just my personal thought. Day four, we're going to talk about motivation. Sellers, buyers. Wow, how do you find them motivated? Where do they are on the motivational scale? How do you make them more motivated or help them get more motivated about making the right move? And you see, they can be if you've ever had a buyer or a seller that just seems to be dragging their feet all the way through the selling process, you can know that that is just a nightmare that keeps you up at night. And they take more time, more energy than we really need to have it take. So we want you to really know what it takes to get your client motivated and help them through the process. And you know what? They want you to really help them get motivated too. That's our job. So let's do it so that we can make it easy for everybody, because that's really important. Day five, we're going to talk about how to build client rapport. It's that famous word that we talk about in sales, rapport, we're going to build rapport, which is a lot more than just talking to somebody. It's really connecting with them at a level that they go, wow, this person gets me. And they can trust you. And why it's important, how do you control that? How do you make it better? We want to know without any question where you can make your rapport work better for you, because anytime you do, it's probably another sale or two a year, and well, that's a lot of money. So let's really learn how to do rapport, and let's kind of demystify what it takes to make that happen. Now, day six, we're going to talk about client agreements. This is something that nobody else talks about in the industry. They may allude to it, but client agreements are things that we actually talk about and we say to our clients or not say to our clients that dictate how well you're going to get along with that client. So if you've ever had a client that for whatever reason, the whole relationship just got really tough and it was a grinding motion that took place, that means that there's probably some things going on, and most of that can go right back to your time when you were talking to them first off and you established the nonverbal client agreement. So I just break it down step by step by step. That in itself is worth tons of money. You'll be able to make more and more sales just because you're using your client agreement. And you know what? When I started using it in my personal business, I eliminated client problems. Very seldom do I ever have a client problem. Why? Because we actually make agreements in advance, and part of that agreement is what we do if things are not working right. So everybody has a part of this game, and they really make it work for themselves. And you want to have that too. Success, success, success. That's what we're after here. So now we're going to round that whole offering right up with the last thing, and I call it the mistakes that the real estate professionals make that the masters don't make. So there's two ways to learn in life. You can learn from your mistakes, or you can learn from somebody else's. One of them is going to cost you a lot more. One of them you got to say to yourself, I need to learn something. So there's a little bit of a toss-up here. If you really want to do it the hard way, I'm all for that. However, I encourage you to try the easy route. Let's learn from somebody else's mistakes. I'm going to give you some things that probably you're going to go, oh yeah, that makes sense. But let's see if we can get it to the place where you actually put it to use, make it yours, and make it real. Because you know what? I've helped hundreds of people in the real estate business. If we can save you a little bit of time, a little bit of money, a little bit of energy, and a lot of sweat, I mean, let's do it. And let's not make those mistakes that cost you $10 or $20 or $30,000, because that's valuable money. And I don't know about you, but maybe that's your next trip. Maybe it's your next car. But it's really important that you know where you're losing it, so you don't do it over and over and over and over again. So we've got 7 days. They're exciting. They're power packed. Let me tell you a little bit why I put this all together, because it's important that you know a little bit about the presenter, that's me, and why I bring this to the table. I've spent probably 25, almost 30 years. It's hard to believe. Started when I was 6, you know that. But I started when I was young, and I decided to go into professional sales, not really thinking I was going to go in sales, but more for business purposes. As it turned out, I went into all kinds of different sales. So I've been in lots of different industries, including the real estate industry, insurance, all kinds of different things. And there's a lot of things that are similar in every single industry. What I discovered though is that it's the things that make, the little things that make everything work in the sales process that really help people get going. Instead of just talking about one isolated bit here, one isolated bit there, I take a look at everybody's performance, and I found out really quickly that, you know what, if we just discover the good things that you're doing in your sales cycle and then tweak the stuff that needs to be tweaked, small little changes here and there, you can double, you can triple your outcome. And that's really exciting. And most of my clients that have actually doubled and tripled their outcome, we have a program that's called FAST, Fundamentals, Accountability, Skill Training. We've got our Unstoppable Sales Conversion System as well. When people go through those programs, they just love the fact that they're doubling their income, same amount of energy and input. Now, I look at that and I go, wow, any day that you can actually work hard, have a good day, and produce is good. But when you can work the same day, turn around, double your output, well, that's just wonderful. I love that idea. There's a feeling of success and really embracing the fact that you're in your zone. And some people will come to me afterwards, and it's always an exciting thing. They come up and they go, Rich, I didn't think it was ever going to be this easy. It was never, I just can't imagine I'm doing this much volume, and it's so effortless, and it's just landing on my lap so easy. And it's not easy. It is hard to get out of your own way. That's the part that's most important when you're starting to look at your performance. And we want to help you with that today. So let's get things going. Let's talk about day one, because day one's all about your sales conversion. And what do you need to know about sales conversion? Sales conversion is an exciting topic. That basically means that you do certain actions and you get certain outcomes. So input and output. So let's talk about that.